Went from condos to Pop's house. On calls now bus routes.
Happening right now, a conversation to curb youth violence on the North Shore. Advocates, neighbors, and even faith leaders, they are gathering in response to a recent Hammond killing that happened. They're hosting this town hall meeting at the Black Heritage Center to discuss how to create intervention measures and programs, or even mentorship programs, to stop young men from killing each other. It comes after the death of a teen this past Sunday. Only on WDSU News, his mother speaks with WDSU anchor Randy Russo about how her son knew the suspect accused of killing him.
At this point, I don't even really know how I'm gonna go on without my child, because it's just a lot. It's like, what is me without Meatball? Like, it's a lot.
Brittany Beal should be celebrating the holidays with her son Jermaine Stevenson, affectionately known as Meatball. But instead, she's planning his funeral.
I'm just trying to understand what possessed somebody to be that evil to the point that you just feel like, it don't matter, I don't want you here no more, you just gonna die. Like, was it that serious?
Stevenson, who was visiting his girlfriend in Hammond, was gunned down at a shopping center the Sunday after Thanksgiving while he waited to get his hair cut. But Brittany says this wasn't his first encounter with the suspect accused of killing him.
They had grew up together. So y'all was determined to kill him either way it go. Y'all was always picking with him. We lived in New Orleans. Y'all came to New Orleans and picked with my child. My child was in the hospital for a week. The same crew of boys, the same crew.
Stevenson, who graduated from Carver High School in New Orleans back in May, was currently attending UL, studying to be an electrical engineer. His mother says he always strived to be better, and now she's asking other young people to do the same.
I just feel like it should be a lesson to everybody. Like, y'all just don't know who y'all hurt in the process. It's not all about the person that you think that you're talking. What about the family that y'all leave to just grieve?
First and foremost, my condolences go to the mother. It's really sad anytime you see a mother lose their kids. I think it's important to understand the way that we look at it in this world is that a mother and a father should be buried by their kids, not the other way around, right? But in today's day, we see parents burying their kids. I mentioned this before. The younger are dying before the elderly in today's day at a rapid pace. The baby boomers, which is the older community, is outliving the younger community, which is, I'm gonna say, the under 40 year range, right? You're seeing the 55 and over range outliving the under 40 year range. So we're just in a place to where we have to talk about this, because it's important to understand this is what's going on, around us. And it's sad to see, because it's the same story every time. A parent loses a child, and now they have to find life through talking about, their child. And before that, they were living their life, But one thing that I do say is that, I'm big on my faith, and I don't believe that God I believe that God allowed things for reasons, right? And a lot of times when you have a parent, just like my guy Quincy, who lost his son, that's my brother right there, but Quincy, who lost his son in Los Angeles, I believe he's helped a lot of parents and children because he has, went out there, putting together foundations in honor of his son, who he lost to gun violence. And I believe helped a lot of families because of what he's doing, the footwork. And if you don't have individuals like that doing those type of things, how will the parents in today's day get warned? How would the kids understand that gun violence is real, right? So I don't believe that God make mistakes, but at the end of the day, when you see a mother like this lose her son, it's a very, very sad situation. And the only way that we see these things change is by talking about it and doing something that I saw in this video that I think was a very big thing. It's what I talk about all the time. They showed a lot of the leaders. Let me see if I can find that picture. They showed a lot of the leaders in the city getting together and gathering to talk about how can we stop the violence in these areas. That's something that is not talked about a lot. That's something that is not shown and done a lot. That's something that I talk about here, and I be like, where are all the men at? Where are the men at when it comes down to situations like this? Where are the fathers? Where are the brothers? Where are the uncles? Where are the mentors? Where are the OGs in the hood who say, hey, it's up to us to show the youth different? Where are those individuals at? So when we see these individuals coming together, the pastors, the men in the community, the mentors, the fathers, when you see these people coming together and talking about it and saying, nah, we got to stop this. This is happening too much. That's what I'm talking about right here. Yes, we don't never want to see this happen. We do not want to see young boys continue to lose their life. And at the end of the day, most of them be young black boys. We don't want to continue to see this. So what are we going to do? And right here, we're seeing the shift, the change of a lot of mentors, older men and elders getting together and saying, nah, we got to do something about this. We have to do something to stop this because this is happening too much. You know, I come from a community to where this happens a lot. And a lot of times the young men and young boys don't have people there who is guiding them. So it's easy to get caught in the streets. In this situation, he was getting hated on, you know, it was envy, jealousy. That's what the streets is made of. Hate, envy, jealousy. You know, feelings and emotions. So wanting to take you out because they feel like they want to. Even though they don't understand that 10 years from now, when you locked up in jail, you're going to be wanting forgiveness and hating that you did that and saying, why did I do this? But you already did it. There's no way out. And you could get on your knees and pray to God, but you got to suffer the consequence for the rest of your life. Now with having probably a life sentence. But these young boys got to know the consequences now for their actions when it come down to this. Envy and jealousy will get you put in jail for life. Because your feelings may make you make the wrong move because of the envy, because of the jealousy, because of the hatred. It's important to talk to these young boys. So how do we stop this? This is a great start. Seeing situations like this when it comes down to elders, mentors, fathers, pastors, and things like that coming together. That's a great start. But how do we stop this? Sitting down with these young boys and letting them know the consequences to these things. Letting them also understand and be able to connect with people who have faced consequences from these actions, bringing them to the jails, sitting them down with individuals, sitting them down with people who look just like them, but just look a little older that can say, hey, I remember I was you, but because of my jealousy, the jealousy you have in you, I made a decision that now got me a life sentence. You want this life? Well, you better do something with that hatred. You better turn to God. You better go to church. You better get in the word. You better read the Bible. You better read the scripture where it talk about the fruits of the spirit and understand what God wants you to have in your spirit, your heart, your soul. And unless you start to understand this, you're going to end up in here with me or dead, either one. But this have to be the primary conversation, especially in, let's say it, the black community. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm not going to hide that. I'm not going to act like that is not a serious conversation that we need to have. This is important. And I'm glad to see that they're doing that in that community. But we need to do this in every community because the killings are not going to stop. And these young boys, they need us, man, more than what any of you think. So we have to be there. We have to go in the trenches, deal with whatever we got to deal with in order to connect with them and let them know we here and we're not going nowhere.